Hello, this is a recording for Unit 8 on how to prepare for the OA. So for your first attempt at your objective assessment, you do not need to have approval. You will have to have at least taken the pre-assessment, not necessarily passed it, but you do have to at least attempt the pre-assessment before it is available to you. You can schedule and take your first attempt through the assessment center or by clicking the Schedule Now or Take Now button in your course of study. Your second, third, and fourth attempts, they will need approval from your assigned course instructor. Prior to retaking that assessment, you need to talk with your course instructor so you and the course instructor can develop a personalized remediation plan. That study plan may include a recurrent appointment with a course instructor, engagement in the course of study, engagement in weekly webinars, or other appropriate educational activities. It just completely depends on the plan that you and your course instructor develop. Students are required to wait at least 5 days between attempts, but remediation plans take on average about 2 weeks to complete. So plan ahead. If your end of term is in 1 week, make sure you have that in your mind at all times that remediation could take up to 2 weeks. So as I said previously, within your course of study, you can schedule your OA ahead of time. Clicking on the button to schedule now or take now within your course of study, or you can take it now. If you know you have a few hours, you can just take it right then. You have up to 24 hours following the scheduled time to request rescheduling. If you do not do that within that 24 hour time period, that actually counts as one of your attempts. So we really don't want that to happen to you. Make sure you schedule your OA at a time of low risk for disturbance and at low times of fatigue. We've had students that attempt to take this objective assessment after working a 16-hour shift. We do not suggest that. And also, if you have children at home or pets, anything that can distract you, make sure that you just go ahead and plan to have somebody there that can help. Okay, so looking at the policies, the no-show policy, that's what I was talking about. Students who schedule an objective assessment, but you don't reschedule it within 24 hours, it counts as a no-show, and that's placed on your record as it counts as an attempt, a failed attempt. Retake fees policy, make sure that you know that you are charged a $60 retake fee for your third and fourth attempts on these objective assessments. I would really suggest taking the practice test that's available in the assessment center page just to make sure that you are introduced to the test taking process, and it can make sure that your computer meets the technical requirements that are required for the objective assessment. You need to make sure you have a government issued photo ID ready. There are some options of those approved government issue photo IDs there for you to see as well. You need to make sure that you have your WGU approved webcam and that it is working properly. The proctor may ask you to move your camera around 360 degrees, so just know that. You can go to Assessment Center and they have a video, and there's that actual link that takes you to the webcam specifications and then troubleshooting tips if you're having a hard time getting it set up. External webcams, they have to meet those requirements, so make sure that you get the right one. You are allowed to use one dry erase whiteboard and a handheld calculator on any WGU assessment. Scratch paper is not allowed. Once you start the exam and connect to the proctor will assist you through the launch process. And just go ahead and know that that could take, usually it takes like 10 to 20, 25 minutes, something like that, to get the assessment going. So make sure that you review any questions you have with the proctor before you start your exam. Also, make sure that you have adequate lighting so that the proctor can see. You really don't want the proctor having to pause your assessment because they're unable to see your computer or your face or what's on your desk. So make sure you clear your work area of all papers, books, notes, any materials that are not approved. Cell phones are not permitted during the exam. The proctor will ask you to place your phone where it's out of reach, but they have to be able to see it at all times as well. You need to make sure that you have functioning speakers and make sure it's connected to the computer because that's how the proctor will communicate with you through your computer speakers. Headphones are not permitted as speaker replacements. If you experience technical difficulties, this is really important. If you experience technical difficulties during the exam, The proctor will reach out to you by phone, but it is my suggestion, if you're getting flustered and there's a lot of technical difficulties, please just reschedule your exam. Let the proctor know you want to reschedule. Call assessment services. Let them know you want to reschedule, because we don't want that to hinder your focus and your readiness for this objective assessment. So when talking about breaks during the objective assessment, you are allowed one 10-minute break per hour of testing time. And you can take that anytime during the exam. The timer will continue to count down during your break. So just remember that. When you return from the break, you are not allowed to go back to any question that you've viewed prior to the break. So make sure you remember that as well.